Welcome to our final episode of the summer school series, Surviving and Thriving in Secondary. Today is a twofer. We're going to talk about cultivating school building relationships with your colleagues and building community partnerships. I'm Dr. Brittany McKeithen-Barnes. Let's get started. So, when we think about cultivating collegial relationships with our colleagues and our coworkers, all the C's, I teach English, we want to think about three or four things. I think three, four, three and a half. The first thing that you want to think about is who you are. Almost like Mufasa, Simba. You have to remember who you are and acknowledge your core values. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about kids? What are you hoping to accomplish? What is your mission? What is your assignment? Okay, because that's going to help you focus. And whatever that is, then your personality on top of that is going to naturally draw people that are like you to you. So if you're like a freedom rider and you're all education, power this and that, there are going to be people that are like, yeah, sister, there are going to be people for that. There are also going to be people who are introverted. If you're like, I watch anime, I'm in my room, I eat ramen, there's going to be somebody there that can, hey, yeah, same. Okay. There are going to be people who are a little bit messy, a little bit jokey type stuff. There's going to be that, right? So you're always going to find somebody that is very similar to you, if not exactly the same, in your building. So don't worry about that. Just know who you are. Let that be an anchor for how you navigate these spaces, these professional spaces. Boundaries are very important because sometimes people in working places think that you're supposed to be like friends outside of school or outside of work, or like, let's hang out, let's go drink, let's go. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. Okay. So it's okay to set very strong boundaries. If somebody asks you to do something after school, it's beyond your contract hours, and you believe strongly in that, you can say no with a straight face and tell them to enjoy their day, see you tomorrow, whatever, right? On the other hand of that, when you're cultivating relationships, know that you have to be flexible, especially in a school building, because things don't always go according to plan. So you might end up covering your coworker's class for about 10 minutes because they're late or whatever, or because they had an emergency. So being flexible is also very important when you're building these collegial relationships. Okay. So that's all number one, being anchored in your self awareness, but being flexible enough to say, okay, I can help out here or there according to the level of your comfort with your boundaries. Okay. Number two, you want to be friendly, observant, non judgmental. Okay. So as you're being friendly and saying good morning, say it back. Okay. As you're being friendly and as you're observing different people and their behaviors, okay, I see that you come in every day 15 minutes late, no problem. You always got an attitude. Yeah. Okay, you change your hair a lot. As you're observing, you're never being judgmental because you never know who you're going to need on any given day. And it's just not nice to judge. And never say what you'll never do. Okay? We run into that mistake often as educators. Very self righteous. Never say what you'll never do. Don't judge. Okay? So that's number one. And number two, the last thing I would encourage you to do is to surrender your offense. Don't be offended by things that people say or do or how people might make you feel away. A lot of times in education, we are dealing with a lot in the building and outside the building. And sometimes we can project those things onto our coworkers, colleagues, and our students. And so don't take offense to anybody's like attitude or jokes, right, about you. Loosen yourself up, right? Put on your tough skin. Remember to be flexible. That's dexterity of mind as well, and emotionally, so that if there's a day that you leave your keys at home and they're coming in the building, the same time you're coming in the building, you're able to say, hold that door, please. And they hold it, not slam it in your face. They shouldn't anyway. But you become common and on a common plane when somebody helps you when you need it, right? And that is one way to build relationships, being there for people and letting them be there for you. So, not judging, also surrendering your offense. Okay? So, those are my top 3 things for um, cultivating collegial relationships, especially in a school building. One being anchored in your self awareness, two being observant, seeing more than you say, but being friendly and not judging, and then surrendering your offense so that nothing rolls off the back. This is 3.5. As you navigate these spaces, and no, none of us do it perfectly all the time, but I am going to give you a warning. Sometimes there are people who've been somewhere for a little bit of time, for a long time. They're not happy because they're not satisfied. They have all the negative things to say in the world about the leadership, about the school, about the roaches, rat, whatever it is. Okay. And that's okay because we're all entitled to our opinion. But don't get yourself caught up um, absorbing someone else's stress and someone else's struggle when that is not a perspective that you share. It's okay for you to listen, empathize, and then go make your copies. It's okay to say, yeah, I understand that. I need to go finish my lesson plans and leave. Okay. Because it's also about setting boundaries as you build these relationships with people that you are learning, because you're learning to see them in every season. You didn't grow up with these people, you don't know them. Okay. So don't feel obligated to solve everybody's problem, to listen to everybody's problem, to absorb everybody's stress, to empathize so much. Okay. You're going to have your own opinions. Filter them through your leadership. It's okay to be vocal and to have opinions, but don't get wrapped up in a spiral of opinions that send you down the drain. Okay.